Shane, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, welcome to Reppin Fitness.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to get those reps. Brick Headstrong! Brick Headstrong! He's got the reps to you! He's got the reps to you! Brick Headstrong! For those of you watching at home, this is Shane McLean with Outback Performance. How's it going?
I'm going fantastic, mate. Thank you for having me today. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, I ask everybody this. Did you go to the gym today?
I haven't gone to the gym today, unfortunately. I've
Oh.
been a little busy today, but I am planning on and doing the gym after I'm finished with you.
Yeah,
Today's kettlebell swing day for me.
kettlebell swing day. What's that
Kettlebell
like?
I like kettlebell swings only because it gets my heart rate up without banging my feet on the ground from running. So
Oh, yeah.
I kind of use kettlebell swings as cardio and also to
Oh,
improve my grip strength.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, do you remember the first time you started working out? When you were a kid or as an
Oh,
adult?
mate, I remember. I wouldn't remember. I shouldn't say I wouldn't remember like it was yesterday because I'm really old.
Right.
But I do remember. I remember. I think I was maybe 19, 20. So
Oh,
I'm hanging around my friend. For some reason, we might have been hot. We're in the pool or whatever. I'm with my shirt off, and so he sees me without my shirt off, and he's like, "Dude, you got to work out." And I was like, "Okay." So I thought a little Shane went a long, long way. So I
were
actually
you
started
skinny?
working. I was. I think when I was 19, I was probably 6'1", like
Whoa.
probably 140 pounds, maybe 60 kilos. I was pretty thin. And when a friend says to you that you need to start working out, that's when I started working out because like most guys, when we start working out, we want attention from the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
so
that's
that was
true.
my main motivation for working out. So I mean, like a lot of people who start working out, they go into the gym. I was looking at what other guys were doing in the gym,
Right.
and that was a mistake, obviously.
Oh. Now, you said, you told me earlier you got a kid. He's 19 now, right?
That's correct.
Now, when did he start? Did he start getting working out around the same age? Or when did
Well,
he
he
get
started
into it?
working out earlier. So
Yeah?
one of the reasons why I'm Outback Performance, so I used to have my own garage gym back in the day,
Oh, I'm
years ago.
jealous. I'm jealous. I want
So
one of those.
yeah, so do I now. So I was, training a few clients out of there and stuff, and doing my own thing in there. So he probably came to me when he was probably 12 or 13 and said, "Dad, I want to start working out."
Whoa, that's pretty
And I was
young.
like, "Okay, let's go." And it was the same for my other older son and my wife. I think setting a good example is important because people like to be shown what to do. They don't like being told what to do.
Right. That's interesting. Now, is he still getting after it? He's still working
He
out?
is. He is. Yeah, his facilities at his college are a lot sweeter than my facilities, so he really enjoys
Oh,
working out there now with all the machines
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I was at Misericordia University just recently. I did an interview with the president of the school, and they
Sweet.
got some pretty nice facilities there. Really awesome gyms. I might hit them up again sometime. But I don't know. So people at home, they don't know how we met. I met you through Andrew Coates. He writes at Muscle and Fitness magazine. Turns out, so do you.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and well, just give a slight shout out to Andrew because
Oh yeah,
he's the ultimate connector. He's
he is.
he's
He
pretty
is.
selfless with handing out with connecting people. You know, Andrew is probably Andrew's given me a few jobs and he's probably responsible for putting food on my table more than one on one occasion. So a big shout out to Andrew for connecting us and also just for throwing work my way in general. He's the ultimate connector, and if you know Andrew, you know he'll help you in a heartbeat. He's just that
Yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah, he's the mayor of fitness. That's what we
Yeah,
call them
right.
around here.
Yeah, the Reppin Fitness. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
I was thinking about running against him, but I don't think I'd win. He knows too many
Yeah.
people. He's
And
got too many connections.
he's big.
And he's big.
And
Yeah, he's way
big.
bigger than I thought he would be. He's like 6'5". He's
He's a,
giant.
he's a big dude. No, I've met Andrew on a couple of occasions. Yeah, I don't want to cross him. That's for sure.
Now, I think I got a couple inches on him, if I'm honest. But listen. As a writer for Muscle and Fitness, right? You've probably seen so many fitness trends, new tools popping up. How do you see AI? Yeah, that's right. AI. How do you see it shaping the future of fitness content?
Oh, well, I think it's shaping it right now.
You
Right?
think so?
Oh yeah. Well, it's been pointed out. I mean, I've only just seen it on my social media feed. So when AI writes an article
Right.
in its entirety, I think it's pretty obvious to the rest of us that it's written by AI, and publishers or editors just, I don't know, somehow just let it on through, and it's embarrassing when you see content entirely written by AI. I mean, just with Sports Illustrated just recently, I mean, they fired a lot of their staff and started producing content for AI, and it was not great. So it is shaping it already. I think for a lot particularly now, because everyone's trying to cut costs and produce content, and also get the most eyes on their stuff. So there's always that temptation to use AI, because you're not using a real human. You don't really have to pay them. You say, I use ChatGPT. You pay $20 a month, so they're using ChatGPT. $20 a month, they can pump out content. They don't have to hire anybody. They don't have to any benefits, keeping their overheads low. So it is right, just for cost cutting. But I think in the end, it's pretty noticeable when AI entirely produces content.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you see that identifies this was written by AI? Anything come to mind?
Well, yes. So, AI gets repetitive.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, when you see one sentence and it could be repeated the same way 3 or 4 sentences down. So, I think a short catchphrase with AI is it does get repetitive, and it also uses a lot of adverbs, flowery language, doesn't speak in so much plain English, tries to sound smart. So those little things are warning signs. They don't use semicolons. They very rarely use commas. So there's some sure signs that content's been written by AI.
They use that bar. They use that bar instead of a comma.
Yes, exactly.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think AI could ever replace a fitness coach? Or is there something irreplaceable about being a human? What do you think?
I've had great thought to this. So AI has a lot of knowledge, right? They have access to basically the whole of the internet, right?
Yeah.
And everything that's produced. So I look at it like they don't really have to work hard for that knowledge because they've got access to it. Yeah. I, on the other hand, or other personal trainers who are experienced, have gained that knowledge the hard way. So that knowledge learned the hard way sticks. So when you have, say, a coach versus AI, and say an experienced coach versus AI hasn't had to work hard for that knowledge. A coach has.
Yeah, right.
So a coach can pick up nuances that maybe AI can't pick up as well, because I think particularly with programming is part art and science, right? So the person in front of you, the science of sets of reps, yada yada. So AI has only got the science, right? They've got access to the science, but they haven't got the art. So if you want good coaching, yes, you can use AI, but if you want something different, then having the art and science part of it, I don't think can ever be replaced.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's something irreplaceable about being there in person. You know, I could be at the gym with one of my trainees. We could work out together. Hey, I can't do that. Hey, I can't do that. You know, there's something about experience, right? Now, you
True.
said before we got on this that you primarily work with some females on strength coaching, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Now, what do you think some of the biggest misconceptions are that women face when it comes to lifting weights?
Well, I mean, it's even changed in the age of social media, hasn't it? So I
Right, right, it
think
has.
we see on social media quick results, right?
Yep,
So
30 days. 30
yeah,
days.
outdoors, a lady has been pregnant and she's lost all that weight, and now 30 days after she's pregnant, she's got these ripped abs. So I think the biggest misconceptions, and this is not only for females, but it's for males too, putting on muscle is really hard.
Yeah, it is. I mean, not for me,
Yeah,
but for other
not for you,
people.
but
Yeah, for
yeah,
other
for other
people.
people, of course. But for everyone besides Brick, putting on muscle is really hard. Getting those instant results is hard. So I
Yeah,
think the biggest myth is basically you have to really work hard for results, and muscle is really hard to build. Women, and not men, but mainly women, think by touching a weight they're instantly going to get results
oh,
because they're
yeah.
lifting weights, and then they're instantly going to gain muscle and they're going to look like the Hulk, right?
Yeah,
And I still think there's that kind of it's going away, right? This misconception is going away, but it still exists, with the cardio queens and all that kind of stuff who want to tone and not bulk and yada yada yada. But you know, results are hard. Putting on muscle is hard. I think if I was to tell, if everybody knew that, but mainly females,
right.
right, strength training would be a little bit more accessible. But there's still people who try and peddle that kind of thing to push their own products. So that misconception, I think, will always exist.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give to women who want to start strength training but aren't sure where to begin? What do you think? Any ideas?
Oh, I mean, I think women, another misconception with strength training is like you have to use barbells, dumbbells, cold hard steel, yada yada. Come on, let's go. The
Oh,
big
yeah.
macho mentality. So I like using resistance bands,
Resistance
TRXs,
bands. Oh,
maybe even the landmine. So I think
landmines.
if I was to encourage a woman to strength train
Yeah.
and they're intimidated by the gym, I would encourage them to use like bodyweight movements on the TRX, resistance band movements, maybe even a kettlebell. I think when you bust the misconception that you can get results outside of the barbells and the dumbbells and all that kind of stuff, if they don't really want to use them, it's kind of like easing somebody into it, right?
Right.
So that's what I would suggest with with male and female. It's just easing into it. If you don't want to use barbells, if you don't want to use dumbbells, that's fine. Use body weight, right? Usually body weight when you're beginning is enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Using the TRX upset a little bit and using resistance bands. Well, resistance bands aren't intimidating, right? Anybody can use a resistance band, right? The learning curve is short.
Yeah, that's true. Now, here's one. Let me throw you this. What about those people who think they don't have the time? What do you got for them? How can they make fitness a priority?
Yeah, I mean, time is always an excuse, right?
Right, it is. It
So,
is. Even talking about
and
resistance bands. You can have resistance bands at home. You don't even have to go to the gym.
that's true. So, I the method that I like to use,
Yeah.
particularly with people who lack time, I like to use trisets. I like to use three exercises,
Trisets.
trisets.
Oh,
So three exercises in a row. Typically, I like to do it in a flow. I use maybe the same dumbbell for all three
yeah.
exercises and run through it a few times. And then they realize that they can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. And I think, particularly with people who have no time, I think that's another misconception is that, you need a lot of time. Some people think you need an hour to work out. or you
Right.
need a half an hour to work out. Doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter.
10 minutes is enough. I mean,
10 minutes.
science has shown that, doing 3 blocks of 10-minute cardio has the same effect of doing like 30 minutes of cardio.
Oh.
So I think like I said, the common misconception is that you need a lot of time to work out when you really don't. So doing something is always better than doing nothing. If you only have 10 minutes, and some people, I work with clients who only sometimes have 10 or 15 minutes. I say, okay, let's do a tricep. We'll do it twice and we're done. You've done
Nice.
something. Something always beats nothing.
Yeah, something always beats nothing. Like today, I had to cut it short. I only did half my workout, but I got about 1,000 reps in, so I at least got some. I got a little bit in. Not as much as my usual, but it's enough. It's enough for today,
Well, it shows, right?
Oh, yeah, it does show. It does show, right?
Right,
Look at
shows.
these. Look at these
Yeah,
arms.
right. It
I'm
shows.
swollen. I'm swollen. I need some more protein. There's nothing in my drink. I got to get more. But anyways, what do you think we should do when people lose motivation? A lot of people lose it sometimes. They're juggling a lot. People get busy, How do you help people do the same thing? How do you help them stay motivated? Any ideas? What do you do?
That's a great question.
Oh.
So we always, I think, I've worked with clients who always have a lot of going on, and have faced some pretty severe obstacles in their effort to work out and to keep in shape. And I'm not going to sit here and say that motivation is overrated.
No.
Habits build motivation and all that kind of stuff. We know all that. That doesn't help a person who lacks motivation to work out when you tell them that motivation doesn't matter. I like to give them grace. So if they don't feel like, I have this deal with my clients.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. If you don't feel like working out, then we're not going to work out. Don't make up some crappy excuse that I'm going to go to a doctor's appointment. So I don't feel like working out, right? So I think in terms of motivation, giving yourself a little grace always helps you. Another thing I like to do, and you've probably heard of this, it's like give yourself 5 minutes. So I often don't like to. I don't like to work out. So what I like to do is I'll go in and I'll do the warm up.
Okay.
So if I do the warm up and that's all I want to do, then I'm going to stop and at least I've done something. But usually I go, well, I've done the warm up. I can keep going. I'm going to do the first exercise. And I'll do the first exercise and I go, I'm done. I don't want to keep going. Or on the other hand, I do want to keep going. So that's all an extension of giving yourself a little bit of grace and giving yourself permission, particularly when you lack motivation.
That's a good tip.
Thank
Now,
you.
I can't say I've ever been in that situation where I went to the gym, warmed up, and said, I guess it's time to go. That's not happening for me. But I can understand that.
That's why you look like you do, right?
Oh, yeah. I put the work in.
That's
I'm
right.
disciplined. I got it done. I got the reps. So I look jacked now. That's how it happens. That's all you got to do.
Dude, you're putting me to shame today.
Now, well, while we're talking about it, now you write for Muscle and Fitness magazine, right?
That's true.
When are we going to get that feature? When are we going to puppet as the centerfold? I'm talking glossy pages. What are we doing?
Well, I'm going to lobby hard. I'm just going to lobby a little bit harder, right?
Oh, that's what we got to do.
I'm going to get in my editor's ear. You know what? I think this podcast will help because I will send it directly to him. And we'll highlight that bit of you saying that you want to be a Centerfold Muscle and Fitness, and we can make it happen.
You hear that? Brick Headstrong is going to be the centerfold in the Muscle Fitness magazine. Let me know. Editor, it's me, Brick. We're going to do this. I'll even sign them. I'll sign them all. Each one. All 1,000,000 copies. I'll do it all one time.
1,000,000 copies?
I don't know how many copies. How many copies do you think they got?
I don't know. I think that if you're the centerfold, they'll probably break the coffee machine for you, wouldn't they?
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. Get ready for it. But no, seriously. looking ahead, what excites you the most about the future of strength training for not just women, but everybody? Where do you see the fitness industry heading in the next couple of years?
Well, I think it's heading there right now. I think things are more specialized now.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
So, we've got your. We used to just to be like bodybuilding and powerlifting, right? So you're
Yeah.
either a bodybuilder or a power. Now you got CrossFit, you got kettlebell, um, you've got Les Miles pump thing. I mean, group exercise. I think I think it's now more than ever that strength training meets people where they're at.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So it used to be just power bit like I said, power lifters and bodybuilders and a lot of people don't want to be a power lifter and don't
No.
want to be a bodybuilder, don't want to look like that. But now, you know, people want to say, oh, kettlebells look cool, I might try kettlebells, or hey, CrossFit looks great, I want to try that. I like doing Olympic lifting. Right? So I think it's a lot easier for people to find their tribe now when it comes to strength training. And
Oh, yeah.
it kind of just meets I think it meets people more where they're at, and there's just more options where people can go, well, I don't like powerlifting, maybe I like CrossFit,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Or I
That's true.
don't like bodybuilding, maybe I'll get a go and get a kettlebell certification and work with kettlebells. I think there's a lot more options these days, and I think that's only going to increase.
That's true. Where can I get a kettlebell certification?
Good question. I think isn't that the RKC, the Russian kettlebell certification?
Oh, the Russian one. Okay, okay, okay.
And I know that the PPC, the Pain Free Performance certification with John Rusin. I know he has
Oh, I know
he
him.
has he has Clinton is it Husky? He runs a kettlebell thing there with the PPPC.
Oh,
That's pretty fly. But
no. Yeah.
like I said, I think there's a lot more because we have way more tools and way more pieces of equipment now. People can find what they like more than they did when there was only say dumbbells and kettlebells.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I work with kettlebells every once in a while. I do kettlebell swings. I get about 100 reps in just to get warmed up. Feels good. Feels good.
Oh, it shows.
Oh, yeah, it does, right? Now
Yeah.
tell me, what do you think? Is this the pose? Is this the pose for the centerfold? Just a little flex?
Oh, yeah, you can use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What are you going to do with the other arm?
Well, I'm not sure yet.
You're
Not
not
sure.
sure? Okay,
Not
all
sure.
right.
I'll think
Well,
about that.
that's a
think
work
about
in
that.
progress.
Yeah, I got to think about that. I got to think about what I'm going to do with those.
Yeah.
But for real, thinking back on your career, articles you've written, do you have a favorite that sticks out right now? Anything come to mind?
Oh God, I've written a lot. There's two that come to mind, and I've
Okay.
written them a long time ago. So, Breaking Muscle used to be a website. Breaking Muscle used to be a thing
Breaking
on the
muscle.
internet.
Yeah.
Breaking Muscle. Until they were bought out and put in the trash can.
Oh,
But I wrote an article about the difference between health and fitness. Now, a lot
oh,
of people equate health and fitness as the same thing. So I like to use the example of, say, bodybuilders on stage. So
right.
we know that the bodybuilders are on stage, they're depleted, right? They're exhausted,
Yeah.
they're hungry, and they come out and they look great and they flex and they pose and everyone's going, wow, well. They usually walk off stage and collapse in the heat.
Oh, is that what happens?
For some, yeah, because they've been living on lettuce leaves and water.
Whoa.
So they look fit and they, in the definition of fitness, but they've taken unhealthy means to get there,
Right.
to get that big and to whatever. But then, you've probably seen people in the gym who don't look in the best shape and they can lift these incredible amounts of weight.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't look healthy, but they're fit and they're strong. So I'm proud of that article only because I pointed out that there is a difference between health and fitness.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about the other one? You said there was two.
Well, yeah, I wrote this article a while ago on, I think it was tennis,
Tennis.
weight training for tennis.
Whoa.
And I used a coach as a source called Kevin Mullins,
Okay.
and I wrote it so long ago now, but every so often I read back on it and go, "That's good advice. I
Yeah.
should follow that guy."
Did you follow him? That guy's you.
Not yet, but I will.
Yeah, I gotta give him a
will.
follow
I
too.
will.
I'll give him a follow. Now, Shane, Brick loves music. I love music. I'm always looking for new music in the gym. Okay. What song would you play every time you walked into the gym and hit that squat rack? What do you got?
Oh God, I think I've got two.
Two. Okay, give them me.
Okay, I've got "Click Click Boom" by Saliva.
Click, click, boom. I've heard that one. I'll add that one
Okay.
in. That's a good one. That's a good one.
And "Falling Away from Me" by Korn.
Oh, I'm big into Korn. I got some Korn on mine. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's because one of the main as being an older adult as I am, one of the main reasons I listen to music is so I don't hear the sounds of my bones cracking.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you on that. I hear a lot of bones cracking in the gym. They're not mine. They're not mine though. Mine are all right.
No, you're young and fit. You don't have those older worries like I do.
Stop it. Stop it. Come on. But no, seriously. Shane, this has been great. Thanks for being a guest on Reppin Fitness.
Thank you for having me. This has been quite an honor.
Oh, yeah. Now, before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you wish everyone knew about getting stronger, both mentally and physically? What do you think?
Consistency rules.
That's it. That is the tip. Consistency.
And it takes such a long time.
It does.
Right.
It does. How long do you think? How long do you think people need to commit?
The rest of their lives.
The rest of their lives. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
You got to get those reps for the rest of your lives.
Gotta get those reps in, baby. Come on.
You got to get them. You got to get them. But hey, Shane, thanks again for being a guest on Reppin Fitness.
Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you. This has been awesome.
And we'll be talking about that muscle and fitness article for sure.
Yeah. We're going to plaster this all over the internet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we'll see you on the next repisode.
Getting those reps in. Let's go.
Yeah, get those reps.